Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm going to be talking about the final tank item, Iceborn Gauntlet, which in my opinion is a bit of a dark horse, whilst at the same time being kind of only viable in team comps where you're the tank and the enemy team is armor. Otherwise it becomes kind of bad, and then we'll discuss it as we go on. But yeah, Iceborn Gauntlet, there is potential within this item. It's also, in my opinion, my least favourite tank item. Actually, maybe not as bad as Radiant Virtue, which is too niche. But it's kind of only got armor, so it instantly makes it kind of bad against when you're in a lane matchup where you're not against an AD threat. Which hurts the item a lot, and I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that. So we'll go from bottom to top again, and we shall talk about this item. So, I like it when you know what you're against. Someone like Gragas can run this item well. It might be his best item, but the problem with it is you are very limited. The data is always going to be tailored towards games where you're most likely into an AD comp, and you've made a conscious choice that this item is the best there for you. So champions with Sheen, which are Sheen users, it's a good item because it's now a Sheen tank item. Very nice for things like Fiora, Camille, Nasus, if they want to go more tanky playstyle into AD comps. So if you want an option other than Divine Cinder or Nasus, which you can play into something like a Renekton, but which you don't need the anti-health stacking items into, so that makes it really nice if you're against like lethality heavy comps. So Gragas, it's probably his best item. There's a chance Night Harvester is better, and maybe Luden's or Liandry's, maybe even Everfrost if built correctly and in the right spots where you can afford to go AP Gragas. Yeah, there's a very high chance this is just his best in slot item. Lilia is now melee, so it's probably not going to be too awful on her if you're going a more tanky build. It makes it an option, not a lot of games, hard to tell at the moment, so I'll put it fairly low. But Lilia is very much dominated by Liandry's and Aurora being her two most popular items, but Jackshow is definitely worth building on her if you're wanting to go more tank with Demonics, because you can really quickly ramp the item up. Darius. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is another champ which can run it as a possibility. Good win rate, only 1,000 games. Darius has had almost 52,000, but it looks like it is an option if you want to go a Sheen item on Darius and you're into an AD comp. I'm willing to say that this is probably one of his best. Yeah, I actually think it probably is. If you're into it, if you're building it in the correct spots, it's probably one of his best items. Vladimir, I don't see building it, but that's most likely gonna be how it is. It's very unlikely to be built in champs which don't either need tank stats or can't really utilize Sheen as a passive. Right, let's continue. Jax. Yeah, another champion with the option to run it. It looks like that this item, I think, when it's built in the right spot, is very good. Probably better than standard Sheen items. I have a cold, and it's really getting on my nerves, because my nose is, like, completely screwed at the moment. Yone. Yeah, Yone is another champion with a really good win rate with it. Both top and mid as well. Definitely an option. Into AD comps, it's probably his best mythic. Definitely. Yeah, like, almost certainly. Ude probably also runs this item when he's going for the AP build. Yeah, it's an alternative to Jackshow. Higher win rate, but significantly less games. Ude is very, very AD tailored at the moment. Definitely better to go AD Ude, but yeah, it's an option if you want to go with a more tanky Demonics playstyle. Alawi definitely can run this item. I saw this. Oh, what did I do? I clicked back. Whoops. Oh, I clicked back too far now. What time? This time we're back to where we were. Yeah, Alawi is definitely someone who can work with this item as well. Yep, pretty good. Probably her best if she's building it in the correct spots. I'll put it here because it's not always going to be her best, but you know what? It might be. It might actually be her best. 4% win rate difference, like between that and Sundara, with just under half of the yeah, it's 9,000 to 5,000 games, so it's pretty close actually. Argot will probably also run this item sometimes into AD comps, but lethality is probably the way to go still. It's an option. Yeah. Definitely an option. Yorick, I don't really think he'll build it because he wants AD quite badly, but once again, another champion with it as an option. Might be one of his best. Kind of hard to tell at the moment. Triforce is definitely his best mythic. It's close to the win rate, but both of them don't actually have a lot of games, which is kind of surprising. Nasus, it's joint with Divine Sundara, so definitely worth considering. I've always liked Triforce Nasus as the main one I go, but house stacking champ, a lot of house stacking champs with Heartsteel at the moment makes Divine Sundara better, but Triforce is probably his best in the slot. Then Iceborn into AD comps. It gives Nasus a lot of flexibility. I'm gonna knock some of these off, which I just know won't run the item. Your Quins, your Veins definitely won't run it. I don't really see a Kali running it. These two will not. Yeah, you can usually knock most of the ranged champions off fairly easily, which which aren't utility focused. Yeah, like your Akshans, your Teemos, stuff like that. The item is also quite hard enough for them as well. I've realised I don't have any music. Whoops. I'll throw some on right now. We go with this. Nice. What was I gonna say? Who next? Warwick. Yeah, Warwick probably has it as an option. Sheen item, tank stats, definitely a good choice if you go it. Jackshow is his best, but definitely room for it. Gwen probably won't. Gwen is to AP ratio heavy right now to really go any tank items. Yeah, she's almost entirely Riftmaker bound right now. I don't really see anything else. Maybe Jackshow if you're going a more demonics focused build, but yeah, Gwen's someone who probably won't build this item. I've realised my E tier. Oh yeah, my E tier is supposed to look like this. I'm gonna move Kennen up. I'm also gonna move Jace and Pantheon, champions which are very ratio dependent. Swain, I'm going to presume, also won't build it. Swain needs like drain capabilities within his kit, so yeah, he's Leandry's bound for the moment. Yasuo, as opposed to Yone, isn't as great with Bork, I don't think, from memory, but if he is, then yeah, Iceborn is also going to be a possibility on him. I think Yasuo and Yone need some slight changes to him. Like, I think their kits are perfectly fine, but yeah, like Iceborn is by far and away his best top lane mythic, which feels bad putting him up here, but it's true. Clyde is probably not gonna. Clyde, when he got his tank changes, was very, very heavily pushed towards ratios, so very unlikely to see him building tank items these days. Nah, might run this item. Yeah, it's his second highest win rate thing after Stridebreaker. I think it's an option, definitely. Divine Sundara, Heartsteel, Triforce, Stridebreaker. But he has a decent amount of capabilities. His best being Stridebreaker, Sundara into Hellstark, Triforce into Squishy comps. And I think Iceborn into AD. I think Gnar is a very flexible champion as well. Rengar, very much favouring his like lethality, Ravenous, or Gore Drinker Ravenous builds right now. It might be an option if you're going tank Rengar, but probably not. I think it's here somewhere. I think I'll put it in B because no, I'll put it in C. It's a high C because it almost can work, but limited size on the games. Well, I don't see it not working because Rengar does like Sheen on items, so yeah. Riven won't. Riven's too AD ratio driven right now as well. Riven's probably overpowered with lethality, so if you want to play Riven, play like a lethality champ. Riven is very, very high skill though, so you have to be really good. Like, you have to be one of the best to play it well. So if it doesn't work early, you just have to put it in the practice, and then like 100 games deep, you'll probably start getting rewarded. I think Iceborn is an option on Akali if you're going tank Akali into AD comps. I'll put it as a can work, but I think she falls into the same boat as Rengar where she can build it. Like, the item has everything it has everything she kind of wants. If she's into an AD comp, she wants the tanky stats for damage reduction with slows. It just doesn't have AP tied to it, so it's not the perfect item, but it is definitely an option. I reckon Fiora will probably follow kind of suit, where it's a Sheen item, has everything she wants into an AD comp, but she has better options, kind of thing. So she probably falls around here. I'm going to put Akali higher, because I think Akali probably has a better time. Plus Akali top's kind of not as strong as it used to be. Yeah, Fiora can run it. I don't see why she wouldn't be able to. It's just that her other items kind of do better at the moment. Gordrinker and Stridebreaker seem to be performing very well. Divine Cinder is good in certain situations, but maybe not her best. It's like a Gordrinker is probably better if you're going the more Conqueror, survivable build, whereas if you're going the more harass poke build, then you'd go the Grass Cinder build. Tryndamere won't run this item. Tryndamere is very, very crit driven, and I don't really see him building tank items. Unless you're playing Aram, where Tankamira is really good. And yes, that is what it's called. Yep. Trundle might be his best item. Nah, Triforce is better, but very slightly. It's got less games, but I could see this being better into AD comps. Triforce just being best overall. And then Syndra if you want. If someone's building Heartsteel, then any champ which runs Syndra well, build it into Heart of Steel users, because they can't play into it. It's so difficult for them, and you will always beat them in the long game, definitely. I think it's an option on Set. Set used to build Iceborn back along, but I guess with the slight changes, it's pushed it out of favour. Plus, he got buffed towards the more AD ratio side with that Q AD ratio going from 50 to 55%. It's a thing. It it probably won't work, but it's there. I don't really see why you'd build this over its other options, but it's definitely not the worst thing in the world. So I'd put it as, it's like a bait item, I guess. Yeah, Olaf probably won't build it. He can go higher than these, because these ones won't, can't. They won't, it would be trolling. Whereas Olaf can go it, and there may be an argument, but it's probably going to be very bad. Garen might run it every so often as a anti-AD item, but yeah, Stridebreaker and Triforce kind of dominate what he wants to build. It's almost going to be Stridebreaker 90% of the time. I'll put it as a can work, but yeah. Wukong loves the new Ravenous. Definitely recommend playing Wukong jungle with Ravenous. Very good. Good clear. Pretty strong. Wukong in the top lane looks like it's Divine Cinder, Conqueror. Even lethality, Wukong seems to be not that bad. It's another option. I think it can work. There's like a possibility. Aatrox doesn't really need Sheen, so it's very unlikely. Yeah. Honestly, Aatrox, it might even be E tier. There's just significantly better items for Aatrox, which synergize so much better for him in his kit. Yeah, you wouldn't build this item on Silas. No way. Camille right run it as a tank option. If you're going tank Camille with the Triforce second. Triforce second? Titanic Hydra second, god. Yeah. I used to like playing Titanic Hydra second Camille, but it fell out of favor when the well, what did we do? I think they made it it being bonus AD rather than base AD, which kind of hurt a lot of the champs which just wanted it as an option, but didn't want to stack a lot of AD. Plus, Sterix got changed, which also hurt it quite a bit, because you can no longer build Sterix as a Because you used to build them as a trio. You used to go Sundara, Titanic, I keep forgetting the name of it for some reason. Sterix, and then you could go Death Stance and Flex last item kind of thing. But with the changes, it kind of fell out of favor. I think it's definitely an option on Camille. It's probably around here. But yeah, Triforce and Syndra definitely dominate as her two items. Ravenous is an option. Ravenous Rush on a lot of champions is really good, like Fiora, for example. I might do a Ravenous video at some point, just because the item's so strong, and it'd probably do quite well. And I'd like to be able to inform people on making good choices with the item, and not like building it on Cassante or something, which I have seen, by the way. Yeah, Renekton most likely won't build it. Once again, a champ kind of dominated by AD ratios. I think it can work, but very, very rarely, maybe like 1% of the time. I wouldn't. I say it can work. There are better options. It's an E tier. I've seen a Gangplank build this, actually. Gangplank. It did alright, from what I remember. I think it might be an option for Tankplank. Tankplank is a very dead thing. Like it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. But I mean, if you just want the Sheen and you want to be more tanky with the grass procs and such, then yeah, it could work. I was gonna say, why does Gangplank's Gale Force win rate? Why is it so high all of a sudden? But yeah, it's biased within the data because it's built mostly third item. At which point, when you hit third item, you're already strong as Gangplank. So. Yeah, it would be really good. I mean, I think it's an option if you want to go more tanky. I actually, it might be around here. I'll put it as C. You know what? I'll put it as B. Go on, play your tank planks. Why not? It's an option. Sure. Don't grief me though, please. I'm sorry. What have I brought up on this one? It's probably Volibear's best mythic. I tried Hearthstone Volibear. I didn't like it that much. I think Volley Top's actually really, really hard right now. The loss of Old Frostfire, which was better for him, really, really hard. It's probably Cho'Gath's second best, or maybe best mythic. Hearthstone was bait on Cho'Gath, but then everyone will run it. It's still Hearthstone as being his best, which is really sad. Cho'Gath is just super, super weak right now. So many anti-health stacking. But the thing is, Hearthstone just feels bait because you don't need, like, having health on Cho'Gath isn't bad, don't get me wrong. But when you have that much health already, I feel like you just want the resistances to be able to cope better within the game. But even Jackshow doesn't do particularly well because Cho'Gath isn't a particularly long fighting champion. He kind of just wants to get in, get a rupture off, get the silence through, eat someone, and then he'll either die or the fight will continue, and he won't output a lot of damage. He'll just be there as a stat stick frontline, which Jackshow wouldn't mind being, but he doesn't really. It's kind of hard. He will. Cho'Gath is a champion which will very much die very quickly in the fight or live throughout the fight without the needs of Jackshow. So it's kind of awkward. I think what Cho'Gath needs is maybe some. It might be some base resist to help out the. Okay, the problem with giving him base resist though is it helps Jackshow, and you don't really want Cho'Gath to be a Jackshow user because he would feel like the premier Hearthstone user. So I don't know what you do. Maybe make his R more impactful or something. It's kind of hard to tell right now. Maud, incredibly broken with Jackshow. Jack Show, maybe if Trigger goes Jack Show, then goes Demonics, then Jack Show suddenly becomes a lot better because Jack Show Demonic combo is really, really broken right now. So Maud, Shyvana, Lilia, there are a couple of champs where it's just absolutely bonkers on. But yeah, definitely try that. This item can work. I miss Old Frostfire mod. Old Frostfire mod was one of my premier champs, which I used to play a lot of. I think it can still work. I just don't think it's anywhere near as good as it used to be. I think this item probably also works on Shiv top as well as an option. Yeah, it looks like our best mythic. I wouldn't play Shiv into anything other than AD comps. I wouldn't play Shiv into anything other than Gangplank right now, because Shiv destroys Gangplank. The ability to double proc on barrels is so strong. Also, probably works on Mundo. Isn't gonna be his best. Heart still holds that spot, but it's a choice. And I think if you're into AD comps, then it probably does have the edge. It's just that Heart still is really good because Mundo has a lot of AD ratios within his kit. I wish more champs had more AD ratios because they're quite nice. And it feels nice when you get the health to do more damage. So you're tanky and able to continuously do damage throughout the game without falling off with your damage. Which is why a lot of tanks have percentage ratios within their kit. The item does work on Poppy. Heartsteel and Divine Cinder are better. Heartsteel is quite nice on Poppy because you can proc it with your passive, which makes it not as bad as other tanks which actually have to walk up to you, putting themselves in a very vulnerable range. Yeah, Divine Cinder is probably his best mythic, definitely. It can work on Poppy, but she does have better options. Singed. Probably won't build this item. I don't really see him needing it. I think it can go here. Malphite will have to build this item, I'm pretty sure, because it's the only one which, I mean, it's got armor within it, which is really nice for Malphite, and Malphite needs armor. Yeah, it's Malphite's best, definitely. The other ones don't synergize well with Malphite's kit. Heartsteel is just health, and Malphite needs armor. Jackshow requires him to be in a fight for a long time, and Malphite, as much as he does stay alive for a long time, doesn't output very much damage and wants to kind of get in there, be a utility bot, and Jackshow lacks utility. Karma probably runs this as her best tank mythic in the top lane, but yeah, it's Karma's best. Roa is her best though in general, but it's Karma's best tank mythic, so it's one of her best, but definitely a Roa champion. I should probably try Roa Karma top at some point. Sounds like it'd be fun. It's an option on Cassante actually. It's one of his best. Cassante can choose between Iceborn and Jackshow. Jackshow is definitely his best mythic right now. Massively synergizes with the huge amount of resist it gives. Sheen will run Heartsteel, and then probably this is his second option, I imagine, as one of their best. Scion, it's probably Sion's best mythic. My second one is frozen. Let's go. Is it gonna work? Oh no. Wait, okay, nice. I got it working. It's Sion's highest win rate mythic. Yeah, it's probably his best as well. Heartsteel is very bait on Sion. He actually struggles to get the stacks. Which, I mean, you may see your 1500 health bonus Sion's running around, but trust me, not every Sion does that, and even in Plat Plus, I mean, I say even in Plat Plus, it gets harder in Plat Plus, where people are making more intelligent decisions, staying away from the Sion, not giving him the procs, building items into him correctly. Probably just makes Iceborn his best, which also in turn makes it so AD comps are his best. Tanks are definitely better into AD this patch, and just preseason in general, whereas they used to be fairly balanced into both. But if your champion does true damage, Camille, Fiora, then it will go through this armor for the most part. Ban AP champs. Ban Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser is probably the best, once again, the best anti-meta top laner in the game. It can work on Tom. It's not as good as Heartsteel or Jack Show, but we'll have to see how the changes affect him on that one. Maokai will probably build Jack Show, but lean towards Heartsteel more now. Even Shroud is a good option in Maokai top as a more utility focused alternative. So it can work. Once again, probably gonna build Jack Show though most of the time. Sejuani will probably build Heartsteel the most, but yeah. Jack Show's even got a higher win rate than Iceborn, actually. Yeah, they're close in win rate, and that's suggesting that Iceborn is built more into 80 comp, so it's probably her second best mythic. Sejuani got tanked by this by the preseason though. Was one of the best top laners in the game, is now really struggling for a fairly I don't know if I call it easy to execute champion, but for a champion which is very much a stat stick in a way, it's not great to have a below 50% win rate. Whereas some champs can have a below 50% win rate, like Lee Sin, and be broken in some manner of ways. Ornn is a very much tied to Jack Show. His E scales with it, so it's quite good on that front. Into 80 comps, maybe you can build it. I've played Iceborn Ornn. It felt bad, but I might just be Ornn feeling kind of bad this preseason. Plus, I don't like Sunfires that much. I think the item just lacks, like, it's not a bad item. It just doesn't feel good to build Sunfire. When it had the ring around it and you could feel the damage being telegraphed off you, it felt a lot better to build. Even if the item now is strong, it feels significantly worse than what it used to be. Zac can probably also run it. Zac is a Jack Show runner. Heartsteel and Iceborn, I imagine, are pretty close. Iceborn has significantly less games, but Heartsteel has the most. Jack Show is his best. Probably Jack Show, Radiant, then maybe Iceborn into Heartsteel. It can work on Zac. I'd actually be willing to say that it's one of his best, one of his top 3. Heartsteel is probably his worst tank item, which kind of feels bad because Zac is a demonics user as well. Yeah. So Iceborn, it's probably the most hidden OP item. It's probably the second best tank item. For a lot of champions, it is their best because they don't need Jack Show, because they're not they don't need the additional resistances, and they'd rather have the Sheen passive to create more damage and the utility from the item. Plus, champions with Sheen can also build this item as a tank alternative rather than Jack Show, which doesn't really provide them with any additional damage compared to the Sheen passive. So, probably a hidden OP item. We'll see how it goes though. It might get nerfed, they might not touch it. Jack Show is definitely the best. When that gets nerfed, maybe Iceborn replaces it. But I'd test it on a lot of champions, see how it goes. It's very good into AD comps for sure, but it might be a case of the data is always going to be biased to people making conscious choices towards building it into AD comps. So we have to see how it goes. But thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. I couldn't find the end record button. Goodbye.